All right. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. We made it. We made it to week one, man. We made it to week one. Welcome to No Credentials Required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports. We are presented by Belly Up Sports. My name is McCarthy. I'm one of the hosts, and to my right is a man who was the featured dancer in Carol G's performance at halftime last night in Sao Paulo, Dustin Henry. Dustin, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right, but I'm a little tired because I had to catch a red eye back here. I don't even know how I made it. But in all seriousness, I am doing better than last week. For those of you who watched last week, you may remember I made reference to my sink not draining last week. Almost $3,000 later, my sink is now draining better than it has in years. But it was not pretty. Not pretty.
Did you call one of my favorite YouTube channels Drain Cleaning Australia?
I did not.
Bruce is a legend.
I should have. I should have. But there was decades, plural, he said, decades of grease built up in my pipe, for this run of pipe that I had. So I had to get the whole thing redone. But hey, happy to have my sink back. I'm definitely making pizza dough today. Hey. We're gonna get after it, but I am excited to talk football with you. How are you today, sir?
I'm excited to talk football as well. And was there? I wonder if there was some hidden symbolism with Carol G's performance at halftime last night. She had the pineapples on her bikini area.
Yes.
And I was like, pineapples. That's an interesting choice.
yeah, but I think they have to be upside down to signal that you're a swinger. I don't know though. I don't know about certain things.
Not that you would know. Not that you would know.
No, I don't know.
All right, we're gonna get at it today with NFL talk because as we mentioned in the last couple of weeks, we're gonna be focusing primarily on NFL from here through February. And actually into March too, because of free agency and whatnot. But week one started. We're gonna talk about the Thursday night football game, the kickoff that happened in Philadelphia on Thursday. Talk about first Friday in Sao Paulo. I was wrong on that. I thought it was in Rio. Last year was in Rio. This year it's in Sao Paulo. Next year it's in Australia.
Oh man, that'll be nice.
And I have an appeal for YouTube. By the way, FYI, if they broadcast next year's game.
I will too when we get there. I have thoughts.
Yep. And after that, we're going to talk about week one, what we're going to be watching, what games we have our eyes on, what games we are going to avoid, like the plague. We're also going to introduce a new fun challenge on No Credentials Required called the Cut the Brakes Pick'em Challenge. And we're going to get to that in just a few moments. But before we do that, we just want to remind you folks watching either live or on the replay on the Belly Up Sports YouTube channel to please follow us on social media. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Search No Credentials Required. You can also find our other podcasts and written articles at bellyupsports.com. On the podcast side, you can subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, and that includes Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Amazon Music, iHeart, TuneIn, Pandora, our YouTube channel, and on Podbean. And don't forget to hit that notification bell on Twitter and on YouTube. That way you know when show announcements go up, when live shows go live, and also when we have new material that goes on our YouTube channel, whether it be clips from the show, whether it be 10 good minutes, like my interview with Dave Landau, who we're going to see tonight, Dustin, in Saratoga Springs.
Yes, we are. And to all of our cred heads out there, if you have not checked out the interview, go check it out. I watch it because I support my co-host and friend and the captain of the NCR ship. Go watch it. He did a great job interviewing Dave Landau. Dave had some great thoughts. I thought your questions were good. They weren't like the typical ones people ask. So shout out, go check it out if you haven't.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that review. Also, speaking of review, on the podcast side, rate, review, comment, leave us a 5-star rating, leave us a review wherever you can. I believe Apple Podcasts, Good Pods, and on Podchaser, you can leave us a review, leave a comment on our Spotify page. Again, I can also leave comments on the Belly Up YouTube channel. After the show, what are you watching in week one? What do you think of Thursday night's and Friday night's game? What games are you avoiding this week? And what picks do you have this week that could help propel us or yourself in the cut the brakes Pick'em Challenge. And because we're a live show, Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern. We got some comments already rolling in. We appreciate you rolling in. We're going to read them in just a moment. But Dustin, it's an early Saturday morning. It's week 1 in the NFL, and but I always appreciate this time of year, this time of show.
I hear them in the distance. It's time. It's chime time.
That's right. And speaking of comments, our friend from Norway, friend of the show from Norway, Sick Diggy, saying good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. The Hawk TV joins us, says good morning. Good morning to you, Hawk. We appreciate you stopping by.
Good morning.
He says, or should I say, good autumn/fall, good tailgating, good football, and all around shenanigans.
And a special shout out to Sick. He tuned into my test stream last week for preparing for Extra Life. He found me. We started talking. He and Chris and I and Chris's wife Jill. We started talking about the different types of White Russians. Sick was educating us on White Russians out there.
Did he bring up almond milk?
he did not in this particular context.
How do you milk an almond? Sick. Okay, we're gonna get going with our first segment of today, which is the Thursday night football kickoff. Cowboys face the Eagles in Philadelphia this past Thursday for NFL kickoff. It was the official banner raising, so to speak, for the Philadelphia Eagles, the crowning of the champions, which they won the Super Bowl last year, so they get to raise their banner. And the Eagles said that we we're going to be on the field. Well, maybe you should have, because of the first 6 seconds of the game. But I'm going to have my co-host here give his thoughts about what he observed on Thursday night. So go ahead, Dustin. Why don't you go ahead and take us away?
All right. Well, I kind of said a little bit of this on Seahawks session. So if you're a listener to both shows, I apologize. But hey, my thoughts are still my thoughts. But the thing is, I'm going to let Ryan jump in more to the Jalen Carter thing. But supposedly there's footage showing that Dak spit first. What is this? The new Han versus Greedo? Who shot first? but anyway, I said it last night, and I'll say it again this morning. The good news is that both teams, especially the Cowboys on the first drive, you got to give credit where credit is due. The Cowboys look crisp. Now, not having Jalen Carter in there, he didn't have to be double teamed, so it helped that Cowboys offensive line, and it helped them get some penetration. Is Javonte Williams the lead back in Dallas? We'll have to see. Maybe he does enough in the running game. They did enough for this game. He had 2 TDs and I think 54 yards he rushed for. So not like a huge total, but still he did enough. And the thing is, the person I feel bad for in this whole scenario is Brian Schottenheimer, because the Cowboys played about as well as they could possibly play. And the Eagles still won the game because, as you predicted, Brian, the Cowboys defense couldn't stop anybody, couldn't stop a paper bag. Now, the Eagles defense, I noticed, I had forgotten how many players the Eagles lost on defense. And some of those losses, the Eagles corners, they didn't look too good. There were some problems, and obviously not having Jalen Carter in there, now probably the best player on your defense, with some of the losses that the Eagles have had. But still, the Eagles made this look easier. Dallas looked like they had to be on their game to go down and score, and then the Eagles would just respond. I know for fantasy, A.J. Brown owners are PO'd, and I'm one of them in one of my leagues. But what can you do? The Eagles, they're focused on winning real games. They don't care about fantasy. And Jalen Hurts was killing the Cowboys. They couldn't stop him at all, whether he was using his arm or his legs. So they're going to keep going back to that well. They didn't need to get the receivers involved because Saquon was limited. He averaged about 3.3 yards a carry. By his standards, that's bad. But still, he did enough. And it was just Jalen, and Dallas Goedert was featured in the offense for the Eagles. And you can just see how they just have so many offensive weapons. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with yet again, and it's why a lot of people are picking them to go to and win the Super Bowl. But you were right, Ryan. The Cowboys defense is going to be real bad. They're going to have to score a ton of points. I feel bad for Brian Schottenheimer. It's going to be a long season for him, and he has no defense. It's going to be tough to win games in Dallas.
So I have to ask Jerry Jones here, Mr. Jones. What was the focus on stopping the run with the acquisition of Kenny Clark?
Yes, we have not been able to stop the run, and we needed to do that. And Kenny Clark, Saquon limited to 3.3 yards a carry. We stopped him, but don't worry about Jalen Hurts. He doesn't count when it comes to running the football. We stopped the run like we planned.
Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate you stopping by and adding your input to your team's loss in Philadelphia. And apparently you also said that you were one defensive impact player away from winning the game.
Hey, guess what? You had about the
I wonder who that could have been. You had traded him away. Oh, good Lord. All right, so I'll get to my thoughts on this game. I primarily watched the first half because I was in bed very early. And I'm kind of glad I went to bed at the end of the first half because only 3 points were scored in the second half.
Yeah.
And there was I think it was a 45-minute delay because of lightning around the area. So to which look, Northeast and Florida teams. Invest in retractable roof technology, please, for your stadiums, because that kind of thing decreases this delay and people can go home at reasonable hours.
Mm-hmm.
There's no weather delays. There's no weather delays. And hey, maybe we can see a Super Bowl back at MetLife Stadium someday. Because I know they want to go back to New York, but the problem is, and this has always been the problem, neither the Maras nor the Johnsons want to invest in retractable roof technology for MetLife Stadium because it thinks it gives them an advantage in the winter with that swirling wind around those parts of New Jersey and the swamps. So, but let's stop it. Okay. Can we please just invest in again, so that's also goes for Florida teams like the Dolphins and the Buccaneers and the Jaguars, who are going to see more lightning delays in their region because of the weather they have. It's more tropical. Like this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. But back to the game. In the first 6 seconds of this game, we had a catastrophic injury to the Eagles fullback Ben Van Sumeren, and Jalen Carter, defensive tackle Jalen Carter, gets tossed for spitting on Dak Prescott. Well, the NFL scriptwriters are just wild to start the season. Absolutely wild. But here's the thing with Carter's ejection. It made the Cowboys offensive lines, it made their day a lot easier because they didn't have to focus on double teaming Carter. Carter's subject to double teams a lot. He's always been, since his rookie season, he's been subject to double teams. And they didn't have to worry about that. The Cowboys didn't have to worry about that. It made their blocking assignments less stressful, which led to no sacks on Dak Prescott, which I was really surprised. I saw that stat line when I woke up the next morning on Friday morning. I was like, oh, wow. For a team that gets it after the quarterback, they had no sacks this game. But this was a wild first half between the ejection, the injury. It was just both teams scoring, moving up and down the field. In our Discord chat, Desi noted that when the Cowboys kicked that field goal to go up 17-14, she noted, Cowboys blinked first. And yeah, in a way they did, because at that point, both teams had gone on touchdown scoring drives to start the game. So after that, you had the Eagles go on the field, and their running game, not just Saquon. Saquon was held in check. I gotta give credit to where the credit's due with the Cowboys' run defense in that regard, but you forgot about Jalen Hurts. You forgot about Jalen Hurts and his scrambling abilities and his way to create plays with his legs, not just his arm. And I know people give, and I know football pundits out there, especially of the YouTube creator type, give Jalen Hurts crap. Oh, he's just winning with a superior team around him. You forget what Jalen Hurts can do for himself on the field.
Yeah.
And we saw it in the Super Bowl. He won Super Bowl. Don't forget, he won Super Bowl MVP because of what he did in that game against the Chiefs. He had a masterful game. But look at the box score. Jalen Hurts was actually the leading rusher on this team, on the Eagles for this game. 14 rushes, 62 yards, scored a touchdown. Saquon Barkley had 18 rushes, 60 yards, and one score. That was the go-ahead score that puts them up permanently at the end of the first half, and they were up 21-17. I forgot there was 38 points scored in the first half, not 41. My apologies. My math is bad. But it was a mild second half. Only 3 points scored. That field goal by the Cowboys, not Cowboys, the Eagles. But no, I was right. 41 points. It was 21-20. My fault. I haven't had enough coffee this morning, folks. I'm sorry. But it was 41 combined points, 3 points in the second half. The biggest play in my mind, because after that it was kind of milquetoast from there. The biggest play was Miles Sanders' fumble inside the Eagles 20 in the third quarter. That made the difference in the game. It was going to be you knew it was going to be a big defensive play that was going to be the deciding factor in this game. And the Eagles made more big defensive plays, although you could argue CeeDee Lamb's 3 drops, especially 2 in the last drive, was absolutely killed the Cowboys' chances of winning. But that fumble inside the 20 in the third quarter on a potentially scoring drive, that was the biggest difference maker in my mind. And there was a reason why the Eagles never retained him. It's a chronic case of fumbleitis.
Yeah. Had those problems in Carolina as well, if memory serves. So
I believe his second season with the Eagles, he had 4 fumbles. He had 4 lost fumbles in that season. So yeah, it's not great when you can't hold onto the ball and help your team.
Yeah, he's got to turn that around. I mean, Tom Coughlin, one of the most famous things he did, he cured Tiki's fumble problems during his tenure with the Giants. So maybe somebody on Dallas can do that, because I will say Sanders looked great on that long run, but the fumble completely neutralized it.
Yeah, it did. And the Eagles are, I believe, typically the home team, the team that hosts a Thursday night kickoff game, they typically win. Although the last time I think it was Kansas City and New England a few years back. Kansas City beaten. No, I'm sorry. It was Detroit and Kansas City 2 years ago in 2023. Detroit beat Kansas City by 1. So, but usually you see the home team win the Thursday night kickoff games.
Well, let's be honest. Baltimore should have beat Kansas City last year. They got jobbed on that call. Yeah. Isaiah Likely was not out of bounds.
All right, so we're going to go to the comment. Yeah, right. We're going to go to the comment section moving forward, talk about the first Friday game. 6 saying football in Australia, but just like in Brazil, it'll be in the spring. Technically, you're right. It's still winter in the Southern Hemisphere, but not by a whole lot. James saying, can I just say for the record, Jalen Carter is a Class 5 A1 ocean-going pellic. Can you translate that into American, James, please, for our American viewing audience? I know you're trying to. I know this is mostly British stuff. Now, I mean, if you said he was an L7 weenie, I would have gotten that reference. But I wouldn't want to. I want you to say it to his face, because he would put us both in the ground.
Yeah.
I asked Nick if there was a variation of a white Russian with almond milk. He says no, but there's a variation when one replaces cream with skim milk. It's called the Anna Kournikova.
That's right. That was one of the facts he spit at us during the test stream there.
Yeah. And James saying that Jalen Carter situation being said, Dak spat first, Eagles won anyway, so it all worked out. 6 saying if hypothetically speaking, the bartender were to use chocolate almond milk, it'll be called a dirty, nutty Russian. Interesting.
All right. Try it.
6 saying, when was the last time Jerry Jones saw a neurologist? HIPAA regulations in the United States prevent me from looking into that, 6, so I can't really say. He also says, don't forget an investment in lightning rods. I don't know how far they go up, but sure. Okay. And James saying, I was genuinely worried that the Eagles' momentum from the Sanders fumble would dissipate with the lightning delay. I would say in a way that it did, because if they went in to score, if there was no lightning delay and they went in to score, I think it would have been a blowout. But when you're waiting in the locker room for 45 minutes for the lightning to go away, it definitely does take a lot of your momentum away. And this game would have been more of a blowout, so to speak, if they had scored a touchdown on that drive following the fumble. Like, it would have been it would have been sealed closer sooner than later, and we wouldn't have to have seen those late game drops by CeeDee Lamb that you saw. So
yeah, well, and also Trayvon Diggs eating Uncrustables provided by the Eagles stadium staff. Bold move.
we should do a no kitchen required with Uncrustables.
Maybe. Yeah, I've never had one.
I've never had one either. I'll go with grape jelly. All right. First Friday from Sao Paulo, the Chiefs and the Chargers. This one was on YouTube for the first time. Lots of thoughts about this. I was able to watch the game because I have YouTube Premium, so I was able to get free access to the game via the NFL channel. But they also had different YouTube creators having streams, like hosting streams. I Show Speed hosted one. Tom Rossi from Clickbait Sports, he hosted one. They had different YouTube personalities in their studio in Los Angeles, to which I would like to make a personal appeal before we continue with the game. I would like to make a personal appeal to YouTube. You know, you brought in all these creators, all these football creators to do your program for First Friday, and hey, great, good for them. They've worked hard. They've done their due diligence and getting the work done and making sure that they are representing their favorite sport on a platform that YouTube created to have more creators show their knowledge and show their appreciation for the game that they love. I would like to make an appeal. Now, I don't know if you're broadcasting next season's game, First Friday game from Australia. I believe it was either Sydney or Melbourne. I can't remember which one. I'll double check it. But if you're looking for a network to represent that has their shows on YouTube that are knowledgeable, that are funny, that can do fantasy sports, what better place than the Belly Up Sports Network? Come on.
Yeah.
We got our show. We're just a couple of random fans just observing the game with not only a little bit of knowledge, real-time research, hashtag copyright 2025, no credentials required, but also a little bit of sense of humor. Like, we see the humor in the game, and I'm sure that players do too. You've got guys like Jared in the corner booth who do their thing with the picks, with the 6-pack of picks. You got Kelsey and DJ with the High-Low podcast. They do their thing with DJ dropping the knowledge. We call him the AI. We call him our AI of Belly Up Sports because he's just always dropping all these knowledge nuggets. You got Vince and Kevin and Brian on the fantasy corner with the Belly Up Sports fantasy channel. You got Tone and his crew at Sideline Summit. You got Kev, who is more of a college football guy these days, but he still pays attention with his Patriots. You've got all these channels, and Stacy Morgan from Morgan Man Sports, not only dropping knowledge on the Falcons, but also with the gaming and the gaming sphere, particularly Call of Duty. We have all these channels, all these shows, YouTube, that we can present to you, and we want to be a part of that package and going on in the future. So look, if you're broadcasting next year's game and you need football content creators to be a part of your production, let me be the first on behalf of Belly Up Sports to offer our services to you.
That's a great idea, Ryan. I'm all for it. I hope that they're listening. I hope that they're watching, and I hope that we get a shot. I hope that we get a shot next year.
Yeah. Watch as Belly Up Sports get demonetized because I made an appeal to
Oh no!
Because I made an appeal to go to. Oh, I'm just kidding. No, I love our network. I've been with Belly Up Sports for 5 years, going on 6 years now, and doing this podcast for 5 years. And it's a great group of guys, a great group of gals too, because we got some ladies in there. with Beyond Women's Sports as well, which is a subsidiary of Belly Up Sports. But I just want to say to YouTube, like, you've got a lot of content creators doing their thing. Yeah, I'll be happy to come on board and offer Belly Up Sports to you guys. So anyway, back to football. First Friday from Sao Paulo, Chiefs and Chargers. I pretty much watched the entire game. I watched the first half. I missed part of the second half. I was out with some friends, and I was actually casting from my phone to one of the TVs at the factory on down in my favorite watering hole. So just hanging out with some friends, and I was like, I'm gonna cast this over to the Roku on the Roku TV, and there you go. Great game. This is a great game. It's funny. I was actually checking out the Seahawks sessions, and I happen to note in the chat that there were no ejections and nobody got carted off in the first 8 seconds of that game between the Chiefs and the Chargers.
Yeah, yes.
Oh man. But this was an important game. This is a very important game. It was an early divisional matchup, intra-divisional matchup between the Chiefs and the Chargers. And I had said on this program on Tuesday, made a very bold prediction that the Chargers would win the AFC East or West, excuse me. They would the AFC West. My goodness, I can't talk. The AFC West, and they got the job done. Their defense played well. They didn't allow a whole lot of points in the red zone. I think I saw a stat. They were first in red zone points last year. The Chargers were. Chiefs made it a game very, very late. But we saw Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert, we talk about him last year, especially in the playoffs. Like anytime he's in the limelight for a big game, nationally televised, in this case, an internationally televised game, we talk about him wilting when it matters most. But last night in Sao Paulo, he had a fantastic evening. 26 of 34, 318 yards, 3 touchdowns. It had some very, very important throws very late. I believe on the last drive when they scored their last touchdown, he went 8 for 8 on that drive. He did an incredible job, and give credit to Jim Harbaugh and his team and his staff for setting up Justin Herbert for success. They got a chance to run the ball a little bit in the first quarter. Saw it with my pick for Offensive Rookie of the Year for the AFC, Omarion Hampton. He got some carries in there, although the Chiefs did a good job of stuffing him later in the game, which made the Chargers pass game made the Chargers rely on the pass game a lot more. But Justin Herbert did the right things he needed to do, which begs the question, maybe dating Madison Beer has become a good thing for him.
Perhaps. I mean, we saw it with Josh Allen either last year or a couple of years ago with Haley Steinfeld.
It was last year. Yeah, after he got engaged, he accounted for 22 touchdowns and barely any turnovers. So, hey, might work for him this year. Might work for Justin Herbert this year. But for the Chiefs, the very early loss of Xavier Worthy made an impact after he left the game following a collision with his teammate Travis Kelce. That was a huge setback for the Chiefs because they depend on Xavier Worthy's speed to get things going. Although Hollywood Brown, he filled it in nicely in his place. That big catch late to get the Chiefs, that spurred the Chiefs to score a touchdown and get within 6. But Justin Herbert just again had a great night. Had himself some key throws and some key runs too. Not just using his arm, but using his legs too to keep the play going, to keep the drives going for the Chargers. And believe it or not, Dustin, this is the Chargers' first win over the Kansas City Chiefs since September 26, 2021.
That's amazing. That
lost 6 straight to the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, well, when they were being coached by Brandon Staleyfield, I'm not surprised because he was making leads disappear all the time. But other than that, the Chargers have had some talent. And also, there was a Keenan Allen sighting in this game.
Yes.
He looked a little rejuvenated to be back with Justin Herbert and back in LA. I almost said San Diego. I'm gonna keep doing it.
They should go back to San Diego, damn it.
Yeah, but and I'll be honest, I did not see most of this game because I was doing Seahawks sessions for the first half of the game. And then I was pleasantly surprised because I thought you had to have YouTube Premium to watch the game. This game was being streamed for free on YouTube. I was able to just catch it live. So I said, all right.
Great job, YouTube. Great job. Making it available to the masses. Unlike Netflix.
Yeah, I know. Well, and now I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be the way moving forward. I don't know. But at least for the first Friday game, it was free because I was able to just pull it up and watch it. And I started watching the second half, and it looked to me, okay, so the injury to Xavier Worthy had already happened. Obviously, that happened early in the game. But to me, the Chiefs looked like, all right, I'm going to make this analogy because I read this book this past summer, and we did a lot of basketball content on our channel for no ticket required and some bonus content while we were away. But the Chiefs, to me, to start the season, and this is only week 1, so I don't want to overreact, but that's essentially what I'm going to do. The Chiefs, to me, look like the Showtime Lakers at points where they just felt like, oh, we can flip the switch and we can just get things going. And it looked like they tried to do that in the second half of this game, and they tried to. But the Chargers had a good game plan going in. Jim Harbaugh has done wonders for Justin Herbert's confidence, I think, since he took over as head coach. Kind of rebuilt Justin Herbert and is gassing him up. Every chance he gets, you hear Jim Harbaugh talk about how tough Justin Herbert is, how talented he is. Justin Herbert gaining a first down on, I think it was 3rd and 11 with his feet.
It's 3rd and 14.
Oh, 3rd and 14. Yeah, so it was even longer than I thought. But unfortunately, I fell asleep. The Chargers were up when I fell asleep. And when I woke up, Mr. Beast was firing somebody in a Chiefs jersey out of a cannon into a pool because the Chiefs did not win the game. So YouTube, give us a shot next year, but also some of the commentary. All right, Kay Adams, she's a real one. She knows what she's doing. She's a pro. Love that you had Kay on the broadcast. Love that you had Rich Eisen and Kurt Warner announcing the game. I like that duo. That was a good duo.
Love me some Rich Eisen.
However, all this stuff with destroying on the sideline and then Mr. Beast firing people out of cannons and then Cam Newton. Oh, man, I don't know if you saw any of the post game with Cam Newton, Ryan. Kay was like, people gave Cam Newton a couple of jerseys and and they were autographed and it said like to Cam or whatever. And Kay Adams was like, oh, give them your jerseys. They had a Brazilian YouTuber there, and then they had Destroying there at the desk. And Cam was like, I'm going to do what my kids do. Mine, when he's like hanging on to the jerseys. And then he kept doing it. And I'm just like, Cam, stop it. Like YouTube's got to up their game a little bit and I understand they're trying to appeal to a younger demographic. They want to get the young fans in, and maybe I'm an old man screaming at clouds, but some of it did not register with me. I'm like, this is cringeworthy, man. But and all the stuff, I realize Mr. Beast is a phenomenon, but to have him there just to fire somebody out of a cannon.
So I don't know. What you're saying, Dustin, is you're not a fan of Slime Time. Is that what you're saying? F them kids. I did look into it a little bit further. I feel stupid for offering our services on First Friday next year because there won't be a First Friday game next year.
Oh.
However,
okay,
there could be a Wednesday game in 2026.
A Wednesday game?
A Wednesday game. For the first time since 2012, there could be a game next year because the Rams are going to Melbourne, Australia next year. Oh. And the NFL is tossing around the idea of having a Wednesday game or possibly earlier that week. And Labor Day next year is late. So I believe Labor Day is on September 7th next year.
Oh wow, that is
they
late.
could have a game on Tuesday or Wednesday next year in Australia. But YouTube still Belly Up Sports. We're offering our services on behalf. I'm saying on behalf of our crew here at Belly Up Sports. We're offering our services. Yeah, we're available. But yeah, Sao Paulo, Chiefs, Chargers. Jim Harbaugh was quoted as saying after the game of Justin Herbert, he says he's hard to deal with. He's a problem, and yeah, he's gonna be a problem this year. Especially if he after this game he heats it up, and that's why I had the Chargers. That's why I had the Chargers as my pick for the AFC West winner this year. So,
man, it's early, but you've been right on two key things so far. Two of your predictions.
So does that mean that Rice-Stradamus is back?
Rice-Stradamus is back.
Oh, pause.
There he is.
All right, before we go to our commercial break, we're gonna read some more comments in the comment section. Sick Diggy saying J Herb stepped up in Sao Paulo. Indeed, he did. And he also says, Dustin, you're not old. You're aging to perfection.
Oh, thank you, sir.
And James saying Wednesday Night Football exclusively on Belly Up Sports is something I can get behind. Yes!
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I love it. I love it. All right, we're going to take a commercial break and when we come back, we're going to talk about our most intriguing matchups in week one. The self-hatred game of the week in week one, which players we have our eye on in week one, and the debut of our Cut the Break Cables Pick'em Challenge. Stand by. Stay tuned for more No Credentials Required. Where is that ad? Oh, there it is. Come on, StreamYard, get this shit together. This episode of No Credentials Required is brought to you by Invader Coffee. For the coffee lover who wants good, quality coffee with no bullshit and no filler, Invader Coffee is an ultra-premium, veteran-owned coffee company proudly delivering only the best coffee your hard-earned money can buy. They aim to only serve the highest quality, organic, air-roasted coffee beans sourced from free trade farms all over the world. They keep things simple. The best coffee at an affordable price in order to provide you with the value you deserve for your morning boost. 100% fair trade, 100% organic coffee beans, 100% air-roasted, 100% money-back guarantee. Visit invadercoffee.com, enter promo code BELLYUP at checkout, and receive 15% off your order. That's right, folks. Invader Coffee, one of our first affiliate sponsors here at No Credentials Required. Our link in the description, our affiliate link is in the description, where you get yourself the best the best coffee your money could buy. I got myself a bag of the Don't Cali My Texas this week. I have a bag of Bad Santa waiting for Dustin from our race for the wooden spoon. They did it, folks. The Colorado Rockies got their 100th loss this past week. Congratulations to them, I guess. But more so congratulations to my co-host Dustin for
thank you.
Taking that team from me and winning the bag of coffee. But but no, in all seriousness, folks, Invader Coffee, again, one of our first affiliate sponsors here at No Credentials Required. They make fantastic coffee. It's a veteran-owned business, so you want to support a veteran cause or veteran-based business. This one is the one to do it. They're based in Austin, Texas, and they make the best coffee your money could buy. They make air roasted beans, so they don't go bad. They don't taste bitter. You can drink it black. That's how good it is. You can drink it black and not have any regrets about drinking your coffee, because most coffee on the shelves, that stuff ages. That stuff ages like sour milk. All right. Mm-hmm. And you don't want bad coffee beans going into your coffee. You want great coffee beans going into your coffee. So you don't have to add cream and sugar, all that stuff that just adds calories. You can drink Invader Coffee. You can drink it black. And not only do they have their regular blends, you can get either in whole bean, you can get them in ground. You can also get the cold brew, which comes in cans. You can get them individually, or you can get a 12-pack of them. Put them in your shakes, put them in your protein shakes, put them in just have a nice refreshing iced cold brew to get you through the rest of your day. And not only can you also do that, but you can also buy a bag of Invader Coffee for an active service member serving overseas. So you want to help your fellow veterans who are your fellow Americans who are serving our country proudly, serving our country. You don't want to go on the battlefield after a crappy cup of coffee. No. You want to have yourself some air roasted deliciousness in a cup, which is why we are proud to be an affiliate sponsor of Belly Up of Invader Coffee. Use our link in the description to order. That helps our show a little bit. And also you can use promo code Belly Up at checkout. You get 15% off your order. Save yourself a little bit of coin, which will go towards shipping, but it comes to your house fast and furious and ready to go into your morning cup of coffee. So Invader Coffee, as always, you get the no credentials required seal of approval. Big old puppers. Gotta love that pup. All right, we are finally here. We have made it to week 1 of the NFL season, 2025 season, and this year we decided to kind of condense our coverage a little bit with in regards to our week 1 previews for the rest of the games. We'll be reviewing Thursday night games throughout the season, and we'll be talking about the most intriguing matchups, which games we're avoiding, which players we have our eyes on. So we're kind of condensing our coverage a little bit. But in the meantime, we're going to start with our week 1, our most intriguing matchup. And my co-host here, I'm going to have you lead off with who you have, which team, not which team, but which game do you have your eye on that's the most intriguing for week 1?
All right. Well, my most intriguing matchup, I'll say it again. I have a reputation, I think, somewhat on this show of picking the marquee matchups, but the schedulers knew what they were doing when they put this game into prime time for Sunday Night Football. I'm looking at the Ravens and the Bills. The Ravens and the Bills are they're my most intriguing matchup for week 1, simply because I think these will be 2 powerhouses in the AFC, and this could be a potential postseason preview. And I'm particularly interested to see how the Bills defense is able to stack up and their offense respectively, because the Bills, they extended James Cook, but other than that, they didn't really make any key additions to their offense in my mind. Whereas the Ravens, they have another year of Derrick Henry. They have Lamar Jackson at quarterback. Quarterback on these 2 teams, I'd pretty much give it a wash. I'd give it a wash because Lamar might be a little bit more proficient with his legs, but arm-wise, I give the edge to Josh Allen. So they kind of equal each other out. But other than that, I'm taking the Ravens offense in this one. I like the tight ends better. I like the wide receivers better. With the acquisition of DeAndre Hopkins, I know I keep saying it. I said it last year. I thought he was going to be a bigger factor last year. I believe he started in Arizona, but then went to the Chiefs. I can't remember. But
DeAndre Hopkins went from Arizona to Tennessee to Kansas City. And
to Tennessee. I forgot about the Tennessee stop in the middle.
Yes, Tennessee Titans, great. DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah. But I like the addition of him to be a number 2 to, I think, Zay Flowers number 1. I think they're trying to, but the thing is, the Ravens have, when you have Lamar and you have Derrick and you have the tight end duo of Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews, you have enough offensively to do some things and hang with almost anybody. So I'm interested to see whether the Bills defense that had some losses, I think, can stop this this offense and whether the Bills offense can keep up, because Josh Allen, he's good enough. Someone is going to emerge at wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills. It's just, in my opinion, we don't know who it is yet. And James Cook is going to have to be even more of a key part of the offense than he was last year. I'm excited for it.
Yeah. So I looked up just to make sure everything was copacetic. Isaiah Likely won't be playing in this game. He had an injury in the suffered an injury in the preseason, so Charlie Kolar will be in his place. But still, I mean, Charlie Kolar still that's okay. That's okay. But Charlie Kolar still is also an effective backup as well. He filled in nicely a couple times when Mark Andrews was having the case of the yips, so to speak, last season. So it's it's gonna be an interesting matchup. I've got Tampa Bay and Atlanta. So friend of the show, not friend of the show, but Belly Up Sports creator, Stacey Morgan. He covers the Falcons. I'm going to listen to his podcast after we get done here. It's another intra-divisional matchup, just like Chargers and Chiefs. This one's between the Buccaneers and the Falcons, and whoever wins this game gets a leg up on this division. And we talked about this division on Tuesday's show. Dustin has the Atlanta Falcons winning the division this year. I've got Tampa Bay still in it. I got Atlanta finishing third. So there's a hot take for you right there.
Mm-hmm.
Baker Mayfield, he's going to face an improved Falcons defense without his blindside protector. Tristan Wirfs, he's out for the first, I think, 4 weeks of the season after he had knee surgery. And Michael Penix Jr., he'll get his first opening day start against a very stubborn Buccaneers defense whose head coach in Todd Bowles still knows how to scheme very well against teams like the Falcons. And I think this should be I don't think it should be a good game. This should be a great game. And that being said, it'll probably turn into a blowout either way for one of these teams. Now that I say that, but it's just I'm just kidding. But yeah, so I got Falcons Buccaneers as my most intriguing matchup in week 1. The self-hatred game of the week. This is I used to call it the castor oil game of the week, but I just call it the self-hatred game of the week because that sounds more, because you need to hate yourself to watch one of these games this week. Thank God for RedZone. I picked Cardinals and Saints. Just gross. That's why I wrote in our show breakdown. I didn't write any other notes. I just wrote Cardinals, Saints, gross. It's just gross. This is not going to be a fun game to watch. I think this is going to be an absolute blowout by the Cardinals over the Saints because this team is the Saints team's not going to be good this year. It's not going to be good.
Yeah.
I got a damn near rookie quarterback in Spencer Rattler. They might go to Tyler Shook at some point during the season. They got a bunch of veterans who they signed to kind of fill in holes here and there. Still got Alvin Kamara. They still got Michael Olave.
Chris Olave, yeah.
Chris Olave. But they're not going to make a difference this year. That defense outside of can't remember his name all of a sudden.
Let's see.
Cam Jordan.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Outside of Cam Jordan, Kool-Aid McKinstry, the best name in the NFL. It's not gonna be great. It's not gonna be a fun time in New Orleans this year. So, self-hatred game of the week, Cardinals Saints. How about you, Dustin?
Well, my self-hatred game of the week, we may hear about in another fashion in a new segment's debut. But for now, I'm looking at the Dolphins versus the Colts. You've got some star power in this game. You got Jonathan Taylor. I didn't call him James this time. You've got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. But the Dolphins, they're one of these teams. I said in our season prediction show, I don't know what to make of the Dolphins, especially what they're trying to do on defense. And they have an ability to not show up sometimes, And also the Colts, I think their situation is just going to be bad. I'm sorry, Daniel Jones, prove me wrong, but I don't think you're going to be able to elevate the Colts receivers to the level that they need. The Colts defense proved last year they couldn't stop anybody. I think that carries over into this year. So this game could be a blowout because the Dolphins last year were blowing out bad teams, but they didn't show up against good ones. But then they'd sometimes drop the ball against a bad team. So, I just think this game's going to be brutal to watch either way. I'm staying far away from it.
I don't blame you. Again, thank God for RedZone. Which leads us over to which players we have our eyes on in week 1 of the NFL. Dustin, do I have to get a particular button ready?
Yes, it's Homer Alert time.
Homer Alert!
I mean, oh, come on. You knew it's week 1. Ryan and I are going to do what we're going to do. I'm picking the players I'm watching this week specifically is the entire Seahawks offensive line. Gray Zabel, Abe Lucas, who just got an extension, I might add. Charles Cross, Justin Sendell, etc., etc. Because I've been very vocal about my love of this Seahawks offensive line during the preseason, but that's preseason football. And now it's happening for real. And I want to see how this offensive line, particularly Gray Zabel, holds up against Nick Bosa. I think anyone would agree that 49ers pass rush is a little bit depleted from what they've been in years past. They had some losses on defense. They've had some losses on defense now and offense as well. But I want to see how Gray Zabel and the rest of that offensive line holds up against Nick Bosa, because he's still a terror. And I also want to see if they're able to open the holes for the run that they were able to open during the preseason. It will be interesting to watch. That's who I've got my eye on, is the Seahawks offensive line.
Well, I think for the first time in a while, we need to get this button back up. Homer alert! My eyes are on New York Jets quarterback Justin Fields.
How could they not be?
Yeah, it's his first start in the pressure cooker known as the New York Metro Media. And let's just put it this way. Been watching a lot of Jets content, YouTube content. Shout out to my guy, Jake Asman. Great guy. Let's just put it this way. Justin Fields doesn't have to be flashy. He just has to be effective. No fumbles, no interceptions, no dumb plays against the Steelers defense that will take advantage of your mistakes. Now, there's still it's kind of out there in the ether that Cam Hayward may not play in this game. He's not listed on any of the injury reports. He's not listed as a scratch. And if he doesn't play because of a hold-in situation, because he wants to get paid, yes, that's right. The highest paid defense in all of football, still throwing those checks out there. If he doesn't play, I think this makes Fields' job a lot easier. Not a lot easier, but it makes it a little easier because it's one less person to really think about on that defensive line for the Steelers. Yes, you still have the edge rushers. You still got TJ Watt you got to worry about, especially on that right side now that Elijah Vera Tucker's out for the season again. But he's also facing. He's also got the rookie on that. Armand Membu on that, who's going to be facing TJ Watt on that right side. And if Watt terrorizes Membu, it's going to be a long day for Fields because you're going to see him on his butt a lot. But on the other side of the ball, if the defense gets to Aaron Rodgers and put him on his butt a lot, this will be a very low scoring game. But I've got my eye on Justin Fields because, believe it or not, Dustin, amongst all the starting quarterbacks in the NFL, I think Justin Fields has either the lowest or the third lowest contract because he's only getting $20 million this year.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So they got him on the cheap. They got him on the cheap, and they're building the offense around him to see what he can do for this year. They have the option they have the second year option. So if it doesn't work out this year, they can draft the quarterback and let Fields walk, go elsewhere. But I've got my eye on him this week. And this week is going to be a tough one. The first 8 weeks of the season is going to be tough for the Jets. We're going to talk about more on Victory Monday on Monday. So 8:30 on Monday, it'll be a YouTube exclusive. Victory Monday. It's our Jets show with it's my Jets show with Dan Goldstein. And I'm going to break out a little sneak preview for the folks out there. If either of us pick a player on defense, we're going to play this sound for the rest of the season.
Can't have him locked up. He's important to the defense.
Man, I love it every time. Shout out to our guy Wise. It was great to have him. Great to have him with us to review another movie, and I hope he appears as a guest in the coming weeks on this show, and also is willing to come back and review another movie with us. Always a good time.
I've got a feeling that we may have to bring him on sometime some point during the season.
Especially if the Giants do something,
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So we're moving on to our last segment of the Saturday show for our week 1 preview. And this is something I came up this week, texted Dustin about it. And he's like, yeah, absolutely, let's do it. So we get some nice filler content for the season. We've done our share of challenges this year over the past couple of years with on this show between the two of us. And actually, I have a funny story to piggyback on this, and after I tell what it's about in just a moment. But I texted Dustin this week. I said, hey, other shows have the like Corner Booth, friends at Corner Booth, friend of the show, Jared, shout out to him and his crew. They do a 6-pack challenge where they pick 3 games from college. That was actual thunder.
Oh,
3 games from college.
I didn't hear it because the noise gate picked it. So I was just like, what happened?
Oh man. Yeah, I was like, that's not the sound effect I played. No, that was actual thunder outside. Because we're supposed to get rain today.
Yeah.
But no, I texted Dustin because on the Corner Booth they do a 6-pack challenge. So what they do is they pick 3 games from college, 3 games from the NFL, and they do the gambling thing. They either cover or win or upset. So I said to Dustin, all right, neither of us are really sportsbook people. None of us really gamble that much on sports. Let's just pick winners. We'll do 2 teams. We'll do 2 games we think that could be that we're gonna pick, and we pick one called the wild, which is our upset pick, aka wild card. Which for the wild card, I'm gonna play the sound effect.
Because I cut the brakes. Wild card, bitches. Yeah! What?
That's the upset pick as our quote wild card. So what we're gonna do is that for every win, for every game we pick right, we get 1 point. For our upset pick, we get a bonus point. So out of 3 games, there's potential for 4 points.
Ooh.
And we're gonna race to the standings. And the winner, we're gonna accumulate points for the regular season, and the winner will receive. Oh, now it's raining.
Oh man,
That's coming down here. Well, we're going to have a contest winner, and that winner will receive an item from our affiliate sponsor at Royal Retros, the King of Throwbacks. Get 15% off your order with promo code Credhead at checkout. Royal Retros, King of Throwbacks. Yes. So the winner, whoever has the most points between the 2 of us at the end of the regular season for this challenge, they will pick their reasonably priced item from Royal Retros. Although they're pretty much every item there is reasonably priced, from everything from T-shirts to mini helmets to jerseys. Yes, replica jerseys. Yes, I saw an Oryx Blue Wave jersey. For those of you who love Japanese baseball and love Ichiro, yes, they have Oryx Blue Wave jerseys. Yes, I had my eye on that. So, so you might see one of us rocking an Oryx Blue Wave jersey sometime in January or February. Whoever wins this challenge. But they got all other stuff too. They do all sorts of throwbacks from with historical teams that were defunct, teams that are defunct, teams that were proposed but didn't quite make it, like the Miami Manatees of the CFL, the Hampton Roads Rhinos of the NHL. Look that up. The Florida Blockbusters, which we've talked about in this program.
I mean, I might be, if I win this thing, I'm getting that Blockbusters jersey.
I knew it. I was like, he's going to get that Blockbusters jersey. But yes, Royal Retros, our affiliate sponsor for, it's going to be, they're going to be the sponsor of the cut the brake cables pick'em challenge. Royal Retros, King of Throwbacks, 15% off your order with promo code Credhead at checkout. All right, Dustin, I'm going to have you start with your 2 games and your wild card.
Okay, so my 2 games here are, my first pick is the Cardinals over the Saints. I think the Cardinals are going to be able to get this one done. That's going to be a point for me. I predict it. I'm also predicting, sorry, Uncle Al, and sorry, Wise, but I'm predicting that the Commanders will beat the Giants in week 1 in their matchup here. And then my upset, I was shocked to learn this because the Seahawks are playing at home. But for the first time in a long time, the Seahawks are 2-point underdogs at home. So as my upset, call me a homer if you want. I am picking the Seattle Seahawks over the San Francisco 49ers, especially because Christian McCaffrey is questionable for this game. And if he does not play, then that means Brian Robinson Jr. is going in at running back. And I'm sorry, Snowman, but the 49ers receivers do not inspire a lot of fear. I do not think that Greg Jennings will be able to, or Jawan Jennings, will be able to replicate his success from last year. They have Ricky Pearsall. So, I mean, this is my upset pick. I believe in the Seattle Seahawks for this game.
Because I cut the brakes! Wild card, bitches! Yeah! What?
All right, that's Dustin's wild card picks. Here's my choices for the cut the cable break cables pick'em challenge. I have the Bengals beating the Browns. I got the Bengals beating the Browns in Cleveland.
That's a point for you. That's a point for you. Come on,
that's my lock. That's my lock.
Yeah.
I got the Colts beating the Dolphins. Like Dustin says, it's his self-hatred game of the week. I think the Colts defense is going to try to stymie. It's going to stymie the Miami Dolphins offense. But I also think the Dolphins can't stop the Colts defense. So this Colts offense. So this might be one of those like 35-31 games you might see.
Oh.
And then my wild card, I got the Panthers over the Jaguars. Believe it or not, the Jaguars are favored in this game by 3.5.
Oh wow!
It's the home team 2-point swing. Basically, let's just put it that way. I mean, I thought about picking Denver over Tennessee. Denver's line, they're 8.5-point favorites over Tennessee.
Oh man!
But I'm like, you know what? That seems too chalk. That seems too easy of a pick as a lock. But I mean, if it were to be an upset, it would have been Tennessee covering over Denver. But we're only doing this based on wins on who we pick. Mm-hmm. So I've got as my wild card, I've got Carolina over Jacksonville.
Because I cut the brakes! Wild card, bitches! Yeah! What?
I'm gonna love seeing that all season.
Maybe we just make that as our intro from now on, as opposed to just our wild card pick. But that's our new challenge for this year. Dustin's got me on 2 of them, so I got some room to make up for this our challenge breakdown. I think Dustin's won the last 2 or 3, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
you won the race to the wooden spoon.
Yep.
You won the Olympic challenge. I didn't think the U.S. men's team would medal, and they wound up winning gold. So you got yourself a nice package from Righteous Felon.
And I also won the Mendoza line challenge.
Yes, you did. So you won 3 in a row.
You came out of the gate strong in the Battle of the Bryans, but then so we've had some fun challenges on the show. But I have a prediction. I think you're going to smoke me in this one. I think I'm going to have to buy you that maybe that Oryx Blue Wave jersey.
And we're going to wrap up our show with our favorite athletes to wear the number 63. And like you said, Dustin, it's running pretty thin right now because we're entering the 60s, which it's there's not a whole lot of athletes we could think of that we've seen play that are our favorite athletes to wear number 63. But I'm going to put it out on the limb. You may hate him, but I like his game. I think he's fun to watch. I think he's entertaining, not only on the ice, but also off the ice with his interactions with the media. Brad Marchand. I'll say it. Brad Marchand. Yeah. Whether he's in Boston or Florida, you can hate the player. Don't hate the game because he gets in your mind, he gets in your head, and he can take you off your game rather quickly. And he'll punish you with goals and good play. And like we saw it. Well, you saw it last year against Carolina. I think it was Toronto when they were down 2-0 in that series to the Maple Leafs. They went to overtime, and Marchand scored that game-winning goal that looked like a total fluke, but wound up scoring the goal, and that pretty much turned around the series for the Panthers. But if you're a Boston Bruins fan, you're kind of sad that he's gone, but you're happy that he was there for as long as he was, winning the Stanley Cup for the first time in 2011 since I think 1972, 30 something years. So, but that's basically my number 63. And I know he did a lot of damage last year to your Oilers, but you can't hate the guy. Hate the guy.
No, and I'm gonna prove my bona fides as a fan here because I mean, like you said, it's getting a little thin at times here. I also picked Brad Marchand because game recognized game. You got to respect him. Yep. You got to respect him, and he's got some of the best nicknames. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. There's no doubt about that in my mind. He's going to make the Hall of Fame. But listen to some of these nicknames, Ryan. The Little Ball of Hate, Nose Face Killer, Squirrel, Rat, Tomahawk, Brat, Marshmont, Honey Badger, Precious Little Angel. These are some of the best nicknames that I've ever heard. But also, he is a game changer, and he is the type of player you can't help it. He will get under your skin, but he's not just an agitator. He is clearly a lot more talented than that. Like I said, he will make the Hockey Hall of Fame. No doubt about it. Brad Marchand, I don't like him as a player, but you got to take your hat off. Give credit where credit is due. He's the 63 for me.
James, I should have picked the homer alert for this one. He's going to go with Hank Fraley on this one. Centered the Eagles offensive line for 5 years as a UFA from Robert Morris University. Yeah. Okay. All right, cool. Yeah. So that's our show. So we're going to enjoy week. Actually, I got actually forgot to announce for quick business here. I'm on Total Football Talk. We're bringing out the extra today at 2:05 Eastern on our channel, on their YouTube channel, on my Twitter account, who is Ryan MCC, also on Sartoba Media with putting the show Drew. Monday will be the first regular season iteration of Victory Monday, as Dan and I talk about the game against Pittsburgh. Hopefully, we're both in a very good mood for that episode. And we'll be back on the OG show. We'll be back on Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, where we talk about all things Week 1 leading up to Week 2. But in the meantime, we want to thank you for watching or tuning in, either watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, the replay on the Belly Up YouTube Sports channel, and listening on the podcast side. And Sick Diggy saying, yes, the Skrull is real to be awesome, but they make it look good. It's true. He did. Got the beards going on. Gotta tell you. I tell you. So we're going to get out of here, but please don't forget to follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Just search for No Credentials Required. Give us a follow there. Also, check out our other podcasts and written articles at bellyupsports.com. On the podcast side, you can listen to wherever podcasts are available, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Amazon Music, iHeart, TuneIn, Pandora, our YouTube channel, and on Podbean. And then you can also get notified, hit that notification bell on Twitter and on YouTube, so you're aware of all things that are going on in our world with No Credentials Required. Thanks for being here with us on this edition, the Week 1 preview edition of No Credentials Required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports. We are presented by Belly Up Sports. For Dustin Henry, I'm Ryan McCarthy. We'll see you here. Dustin and I will be back on Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern to wrap up Week 1 of the NFL. Until then, enjoy all sorts of football, whether you watch college, whether you watch the CFL like I do, whether you watch the NFL. Enjoy the feast that is the football season, folks. Get ready to talk a lot of football with us throughout the fall, into the winter, and into 2026. So thanks for being here with us. Enjoy your Saturday. Be safe out there. We'll see you on Tuesday.
Good morning, everybody.